What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to share my key takeaways from my first read through of Mark Divine's book, The Way of the Seal. Think like an elite warrior to lead and succeed. This is an exceptional book that might be my favorite personal development book I've read so far. So let's get into why I picked it up and what I learned. Recently, I definitely had this feeling like I was stuck in a rut. I felt like more or less I had been coasting in many areas of life, even though I didn't want to. I knew I was drifting and it really wasn't the right time to be taking it easy. There are still things I wanted to accomplish, results I want to achieve, but frankly, I was struggling to push reset, get back on the path, and get full steam ahead to conquer my next big goals in life. So I was thinking, I really need to get serious. I got to get dialed in, get more disciplined about my personal development. I need to reorient around some goals that I really care about, and I need to start getting after it again. So, like I often do, I was looking to learn from someone who's been there, done that. I thought, hey, there's got to be a book out there from somebody that I respect with a roadmap to help give my racing crazy, cluttered thoughts some structure. I need something that's going to give me tactical advice. I need something with actionable steps that'll actually show up in my daily life. And honestly, I wanted something inspirational that's going to resonate, give me that spark, give me the belief, and catalyze my actions. So my wife and I went to the bookstore, and there I saw this book, The Way of the Seal, sitting on the shelf. And I had been familiar with Mark from the past, so I decided to check out the book, flip through it, and see what it was all about. As I started skimming through the content, it just clicked right away, and I knew this is really good. This is the roadmap that I've been looking for. So I bought it, and what I got instead was so much more. So that brings me to my first big takeaway, and that is establish your set point and the importance of purpose, values, passion, and vision. So the first principle covered in the book is dedicated to the importance of understanding who you are and what's important to you as a specific person. Mark talks about how defining this, and he calls it your set point, which is basically our internal GPS, which keeps us on course and it keeps us resilient to the pleasures, pains, and distractions of everyday life. He helps us do this through specific guided exercises that help you bring awareness to and define your purpose, values, passion, and vision. I'll tell you, this work was so valuable for me. This chapter alone is worth the book's weight in gold. It had been about 10 years since I went through exercises like this deliberately. And frankly, revisiting this information and the way that he presents it in the book really ignited me. I would get super excited to sit down at night, work through these exercises, to answer the questions, and really iron this stuff out. The clarity that it provided me helped pull thoughts and emotions, out of me that just I could not properly articulate. So, moving on to big takeaway number two, this is all about unlocking the exceptional power of the mind. And the way this is handled through the book, the things that really stuck with me were box breathing meditation and visualization. So Mark is a long-time, I should say, martial artist and yogi. He talks about how the skills he developed through those practices helped him harness the power of his mind prior to joining the SEALs. He describes how this gave him and his team an edge while he was going through his SEAL training and throughout his career. Interestingly enough, this book is like an introduction course to harnessing the power of the mind to create more mental clarity, becoming less reactive, tapping into our spiritual awareness, and deliberately creating the life that we want. There are several guided exercises in the book to make this accessible and to help those of us who are new take the first step in reaping the benefits of these kind of processes. So the most prominent one throughout this book and really a lot of Mark's teachings is box breathing. And this involves entering a meditative state through repeating a 4-second inhale, 4-second hold, 4-second exhale, 4-second hold, breath cycle, repeating that for at least 5 minutes daily. Now, I've been doing this pretty consistently for the last 4 weeks, and I've personally found it to help increase my patience. It's improved my ability to remain present, and it's helped me lock in to my focus more easily. Big takeaways number 3 and number 4, we're going to kind of talk about them similarly, but that is 20x challenges and the power of those, as well as micro wins and stacking micro wins. So, in the spirit of building mental toughness, the book details these couple ideas that really resonated with me. First, let's tackle 20x challenges. So, a 20x challenge is simply an event or an objective that stretches your ability and requires embracing the suck to complete. So, physical challenges like endurance events are obviously great candidates for these sorts of challenges, but other more mental 20x challenges like completing an educational degree or some sort of certificate program, learning a new skill, like learning a new language comes to mind for me, or mastering an existing skill, maybe a musical instrument or something like that. These all work as well. So it can be a physical or a mental, challenge or objective. The main idea is that by setting and achieving these 20x challenges, these things that really stretch you, by setting and achieving them consistently, you start to compound self growth. And this starts to result in unwavering confidence and supreme levels of mental toughness and emotional resilience. Similarly, whether in life or during an intense 20x challenge, approaching a daunting situation or objective can become overwhelming and lead to the all too familiar analysis paralysis. And this is the idea of where micro wins comes into play. My other key takeaway from this kind of, area of the book. So we all know that by eating the elephant one bite at a time, no matter how small those bites are, we can avoid the overwhelm and essentially stay in the fight and overcome seemingly impossible odds. So I'm sure there are tons of different examples of this in real life, but interestingly enough, I get to experience the power of both of these concepts this weekend. So right now, it is Memorial Day weekend, and I am committing to doing 20x challenges on a monthly basis, and I may incorporate some larger annual or quarterly 20x challenges as well. And so my 20x challenge for this month was a scaled version of the CrossFit workout Murph. Now, this involved a 1 mile run followed by 100 pull-ups with a band, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, followed by another mile. Now, this took me an hour and a half to complete, and 57 minutes of that time was 20 rounds of 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and 15 air squats. I'll tell you, when I was stuck in this, the negative self-talk was abundant, and the thought of quitting halfway through this challenge was so real. I doubted my ability to complete the full number of reps. And frankly, plenty of actual CrossFit practitioners that are a lot leaner and more better conditioned, been doing this a lot longer than I have, actually plan to stop halfway. So they call it a half Murph. And they celebrate this as an accomplishment. And, that is great. You're out there getting after it, sweating, running, doing all these different things, moving your body through time and space, which is excellent. So as I'm sitting here going through this, trying to get these reps and sets done, I thought to myself, hey, it's okay. Halfway is still great for a beginner. I'm out of shape. I haven't been training for this. This is a made up challenge that I decided in my head anyway. Like, I don't need to do the whole thing to be 20x. But then I thought about the guilt that I'd feel for letting myself down if I didn't give it everything I had and really wanted to see this through. So what I started to do is incorporate practices from the book. I started focusing on my breathing. I broke each round of 5, 10, 15 down into single reps, one after the other. So I started to stack these little micro wins. I take one breath in, do one rep, breathe out. That was a success. Then I tell myself, all right, let's do it again. I can do it again. It's just one breath, one rep. That's another success. And on and on and on until I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. And at that point, I got my second wind and I was feeling almost as good as I did during the first few sets. Then I finished the workout, drenched in sweat, exhausted, but I was full of confidence, enthusiasm. I literally, the whole way home, I just thought about, how proud of myself I was and how great that I felt that I accomplished this challenge with relatively not a ton of training this way. So I was super pumped to be able to tackle such a big milestone workout. Anyway, it was a great microcosm for the application of so much taught through this book. Now, the key moving forward is to continue these practices, to stack the successes and watch the results help take me to new heights. So as we wrap this up, besides all the great lessons, I really liked how well this book was written. It's very easy to read. It has helpful stories to illustrate points, but it doesn't drone on too much like so many other books. The chapters are comprehensive but relatively concise, and each chapter includes specific exercises and drills that apply the concepts discussed and make them become more real. He's got appendices in the back of the book with all sorts of helpful templates and resources. And as we've talked about, the information is super applicable. He actually recommends reading the book for your first time all the way through and then going back to really study and absorb each chapter by dedicating a month to each chapter to complete the exercises and really help that the principles become part of your being. So I haven't done that yet, but I've been practicing the teachings for the past about 4 weeks, as I mentioned before, and I can already feel a significant increase in my clarity, attitude, mental toughness. And to bring it back to the beginning of this video, really feel like I've got clarity on my goals and I'm pushing forward, full steam ahead, getting back on the path. So I hope what I've shared with you today helps inspire you to apply any of these ideas into your life. And if you want to go deeper, I highly recommend checking out The Way of the Seal for yourself. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.